Hi, my name is Marsha. I'm a recovered compulsive overeater a day at a time who very, very gratefully weighs and measures 3 meals a day off the gray sheet, calls it into my sponsor. And for sure, my recovery and my abstinence are the most important things in my life because I now have a life that I never anticipated having. My story, I don't know most of you, so I can really tell my story. I was born and raised on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. My parents were immigrants, so I'm first generation. My father was a alcoholic, compulsive gambler, compulsive overeater, heavy smoker, and my mom was a compulsive overeater and a martyr for putting up with all the stuff my father did. I was a very sad child. I had friends, I did everything, but I can remember being very young and wanting to know what my father did that was more important than me because he didn't come home nights. And that's still with me. And I'm 80 years old now. And every time I say it, I just feel for that little girl wanting her daddy. Weight was not an issue until puberty, and I started to develop very quickly. And my sister was a chub, and she was able to get diet pills when we were young teenagers. So I needed to lose 5 pounds. I took diet pills with her. And then it just progressed where it was 10 pounds or 15, and it was a battle. But it was really about not being enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't smart enough. And I couldn't lose this weight. It was definitely a moral issue at that point. Something was wrong with me. I was successful in other areas and I can't control my weight. It was very upsetting. I couldn't control my looks or my intelligence, but at least I could control something, but I couldn't control it. I was a heavy smoker. I quit smoking in my 30s. I gained about 20 pounds, 25, and fought with that into my early 50s when my mother first and then my husband both got ill and died. And I gained, I don't know, 50 or 60 pounds. And for the next 13 years, I gained and lost 5 or 10 pounds. That's all I could manage. Diets that I went on, too numerous to name. You know it, I did it. That's all I could say. And then 10 years ago, I was crying, and I come from Al-Anon also, and OA. I was crying in my meditation chair. God help me. I don't know what to do. I had gone to find out about lap band surgery, and they told me I was a candidate. And then meeting with them, I was not happy with their support after the surgery. So I left the meeting. And as I was crying and pleading to God or whoever or whatever, I heard go to OA, and I went November of 2014. And I was successful. I lost weight. I had a new diet every day with dignity of choice. And then coming up to 2.5 years, close to 3, I missed a young woman who used to come to meetings, and I called her. And she told me she's going to Gray Sheet. And I found out that there was a meeting literally around the corner from where I lived at the time. And I walked in that Sunday evening. I met my sponsor, who is still my sponsor 7 years later, and got abstinent. And the miracle of weighing and measuring my food. I fought structure my whole life. Don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what to do. I know what to do. Chatter, chatter, chatter. And I didn't know. Weighing and measuring my food gave me clarity that I could then have a relationship with a higher power that I call my inner knowing. I don't know what else. It's something inside of me, I know when it's my God talking. I know that part of me, that spark is talking. But I wasn't able to do it until I put the food down. So for me, that's step 0. The food has to be down and weighed and measured. And eat the foods only on the gray sheet, without exception. And I do that. And I do that. And I encourage everyone to do it. This is my personal belief. I don't believe you can go on to working the steps if you're still in the food fog. I needed the clarity, and then I finally got the steps. I had done lots of work before with the steps and never got the clarity and the connection to a higher power until I started to weigh and measure my food. It's not easy. It's not an easy program, but it's so worth it. From weighing and measuring my food, I started to weigh and measure my life, who I talk to, who I spend time with, where I live. And acceptance with my family members with whom I have some challenges, to put it mildly, but I'm working on it, and I accept them as they are. I no longer try to change me to please them. I did my amends. It wasn't received. So be it. Let's see what the future holds. Again, that's not easy, but I'm worth the work. And as long as I know that, I continue doing the work. The more I'm in program, the more I need program. It's really interesting. I'll show you a picture of me when I came into OA 10 years ago. That's what I looked like. I looked older, miserable, unhappy, angry to beat the band. I had 2 emotions. I was either angry or depressed. That's where I went. I know I'm going backwards, but forgive me. I don't have any notes. I'm just speaking from my heart. And so the depression was horrific. I was very successful at work. I work all week, come home Friday night, put my pajamas on, and then wait until Monday to get dressed to go to work again. That was a couple of years of my life. I didn't have any spirituality. I tried, I worked, I became a bat mitzvah when I was 47 years old, which is a little unusual, but I wanted some connection with my Jewishness. And so I studied. And it was very interesting, the history, the customs, the traditions. I loved it all, but I didn't get a connection with God during that time. It took weighing and measuring my food and being with all of you, talking to all of you, trusting all of you. The first thing when I came into a meeting is that I felt the safety of it, that it was okay to be who I am. And learning that I had a disease was monumental. It was monumental. And not only was there a disease that I was fortunate enough to have a solution. How lucky is that? So many people around me sick and dying from diseases that there is no solution and no remedy. This takes my time, sure. But after I stopped eating, grazing all day and night, I have the space to have a life. So I've become a cuddler I'm retired a long time. I'm 80, so it's been a while. I've become a cuddler at a NICU unit nearby at a local hospital, and I go twice a week. I could not do this before. First of all, I wouldn't be able to sit for 2 hours. Secondly, the babies would feel my tension in my body and they wouldn't relax. Now I refer to myself as the baby whisperer. I was there Sunday and had a little boy. That was yesterday, as a matter of fact. Had a little boy who had just been excuse me?
10 minutes is up.
Thank you. Who had just been circumcised and was crying and crying. So they switched me from the baby I was holding to go hold him. And then within 5 minutes, he was calm and sleeping. Oh, what a miracle. What joy that brings. So I also, at this age, joined a gym, have 2 new friends, one from the gym, and then I met someone who lives in my building. She's been here 17 years. I've been here going on, this is my 5th year, and we never saw each other, and now we're friends. So it's never too late. It's never too late. I'll tell you a little bit about what my day is like. I'm not a morning person. I'm not an early morning person, never was. Getting up to go to work was a chore every day, but I did it because I had to, and now I don't, so I don't. So I get up 9-ish. I meditate. I do transcendental meditation twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. And after my meditation, I do 2-way prayer with God. And I have a journal on my phone. I write down what I ask God, what I say to God, and then what God responds. And then I speak to one of my 3 sponsees. And then I have breakfast. And try to go to a meeting during the day when I can. I speak to another sponsee at 5. I speak to my sponsor about that time. At 9 o'clock, I pray with a very dear friend. Every night we read the same prayer. And at 9:15, I speak to my 3rd sponsee. So my day is filled with the 3 sponsees, is morning, afternoon, and early evening and then evening. And that works for me. I don't know if I'll have time, but I'd love to read the freedoms. All of us know the promises, but not all of us know the freedoms. It's in our 12 and 12. We will know freedoms beyond our wildest dreams, page 65. Freedom from the phenomenon of physical craving. Freedom to experience clarity of mind. Freedom to eat diversely from a wide variety of delicious and nourishing fruits, vegetables, oils, fats, and proteins. Freedom to live in a body healthier than any previously known. Freedom to become what each of us always wished to be, or someone new. Freedom from the exorbitant cost, serious damage, and health consequences of food addiction and compulsive eating behaviors and thinking. Freedom to relate to others independently and interdependently. Freedom to experience one's own reality. Freedom to express oneself clearly and authentically to others and higher power. Freedom to set and keep appropriate external and internal boundaries, the ones that hold others at appropriate distances and those that contain what comes from inside oneself. Freedom to fulfill the potential ignored or forgotten and to become who I am now. And the last, which I think is the most important for me, freedom to strive to align with higher powers' will. Amen. Thank you for letting me share, and I love hearing from all of you.